All right, Shannon, do you agree with Jerry?
No, I do not. Jerry said even a couple of weeks ago that the Cowboys haven't had a number one receiver in a number of years. Jerry is panicking because Dak hasn't played well, and he's not to the point now that he can overcome lack of playmakers outside. And so once he realized that, he's like, we need to do something. Because did you not need a receiver? Calvin Ridley went in the first round. DJ Moore, Cortland Sutton. You could have had an opportunity, but you took the tackling Dutchman.
Who's actually been pretty good.
Yeah.
Way better than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
So you needed a receiver. So now you didn't need a receiver during the draft. You didn't need a receiver. But now all of a sudden, you need Amari Cooper. There's going to come a time, Skip, you remember the housing market. They used to have what they call, Jenny, all you had to do is play the interest. But at the end of 3 to 5 years, there was going to be a balloon payment. Well, okay, Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, he's been playing interest only. But that balloon payment is about to come due. And you know what a quarterback's going for. The going rate is what, Skip Baylor? Jimmy Garoppolo got $27 million. Dak Prescott said, well, wait a minute. I got a larger body of work than Jimmy Garoppolo. I want more than 27 per year.
He'll get it. He's earned it.
Jerry Jones says, well, I need to evaluate this. Because they say, well, you don't have playmakers. I'm going to give you a playmaker. He's probably going to get it. But Jerry Jones wants to make sure. Jerry's worth $5 billion. Say Jerry's worth $6 billion because the team's worth $5 billion. Say Jerry's worth $6 billion. $6 billion to a guy that's got to have to pay somebody $100 million guaranteed. That's nothing. But one thing I know about people that got money, Jenny, they don't like just throwing their money away. They're going to do their research, don't they, Skip? They do their reconnaissance. They do their research. They make sure it's money well spent. So he wants to make sure Dak Prescott doesn't have any excuses. He's giving him Amari Cooper. So now we're going to see. But I do believe this is an evaluation process because you could have taken Ridley. You could have taken his Sutherland. You could have taken DJ Moore. You didn't. But now you have Amari Cooper, who you believe, and many like you, believe he's a number one. So we're about to find out just how good your guy can be.
By the way, the tackling Dutchman has contributed to the #2 scoring defense in all of pro football. That's pretty great.
You just imagine if Aaron Rodgers had the #2 scoring defense, how good they would be. You got the #2 scoring defense and you're 3 and 4. Let that sink in for just a second.
I'll get to that.
Get to it.
You know, Jenny, I don't understand this
Talk
question.
to me.
No,
Which part?
I'm telling Jenny.
No, I want you to talk to Jenny.
I've talked to you enough.
I asked the
and
questions.
you just can't get this through your skull.
Okay. What's up?
I don't understand this consistent narrative that is driven by that man across the table. I think mostly on Twitter, on social media. And people are actually buying into it who hate the Dallas Cowboys. And there are billions of people.
No.
There might be 6 billion out there who...
Only 10 people dislike the Cowboys.
Only 10 people? Well, you're the leader of the pack, whoever that pack is.
Captain.
And somehow Dak Prescott has gone from playing the greatest rookie season any rookie quarterback ever played at that position. You can't find a better one than his numbers and production and quality and record and the playoffs. He played a playoff game at the end of that year in which he threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns against Aaron Rodgers and had it 31 all, and it took 2 interplanetary field goals by Mason Crossbar to beat him in that game.
And he had a huge tab at my restaurant.
But the point is, off that year, then he follows it up last year with early on 3 huge games, just monster games against the Rams, who were really good last year, and then against Aaron Rodgers' Green Bay Packers, and then against Kansas City, which was riding high when it came to Jerry World, and that was, I know it was Alex Smith, but they were riding high. And go look at Dak's numbers in those 3 games. And then, of course, they did lose Ezekiel Elliott for 6. They lost Sean Lee for 6. But the point was, if I just combine Dak's QBRs, and I know you hate QBR, but I just say it really tells the tale of how a quarterback performed in a game, because it takes into account legs as well as arm as well as playmaking. What time of the game, what was the circumstance under which you made that throw or that run to win that game? And if I just add up the QBRs of Dak's first 2 years in the league, Tom Brady is #1 at 76. Dak Prescott is, in his first 2 years, #2 at 75. Aaron Rodgers is 3 at 69. Drew Brees, 4th at 65. Your man, what's his name? Wentz, W-I-N-C-E. Wentz in Philadelphia is down at 63. So 75 for Dak, 63 for Carson Wentz, which is still pretty good, but it ain't Dak Prescott.
If you mind me asking.
Okay, but the point is, the narrative continues to be Dak's somehow on the hot seat, like he's teetering on a bust.
No.
And I'm just flabbergasted by it because I don't even get the question. Is there pressure on Dak? Yeah, the same as there was before the year started.
Okay.
I think this team is
How's
going
he
to win the NFC East, and I still believe that, and I thought it back in August, so the pressure remains on Dak Prescott because he's playing the premier position quarterback.
If you don't mind me asking, why does every time you turn around, you said, okay, Dak's the guy, Dak's this, but you mentioned Zeke missed 6 games. Sean Lee got hurt.
Okay,
what
but
does it
in
have to do with
spite of all that, he went 9-7 last year and had the 4th best QBR.
Well,
That's a pretty good year.
If he's the guy that you said he is, he got to get him to the playoffs.
Okay, but he didn't. And he
Okay.
came close. He
No.
came within a game.
What Jenny, you went to the 8th grade dance.
Did you see
we
how
didn't
bad
have
their
that.
defense was last year in the second half against Aaron Rodgers?
Now the defense
Second
is
half
bad.
against
I
the
know.
Rams,
Aaron
it
Rodgers-
was disastrous.
Hold on.
Disastrous.
So why is
Did you see what happened in Atlanta?
Okay,
Ugh.
I saw all of that.
Did you see
Watch
the
the game.
protection? No Ty Smith in that game. 8 sacks.
Watch all the games. Yeah, but this is what I don't understand. Tom Brady can have a bad defense, and did you see Bill Belichick? He lost his fastball. Aaron Rodgers can have a bad. Hold on, just a
Dak
second.
Prescott's not Tom
Whoa, whoa,
Brady.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
He's not.
Whoa.
I never said he was.
Oh, hold on, Skip. Let me make my point. Then I'll let you refute it if you can, which you can't. Aaron Rodgers, yes, Aaron
I'm
Rodgers.
laughing at it.
Aaron Rodgers can have a bad defense, but if he's that good, he should overcome it. Dak Prescott, bad defense. Oh, man, you see Dak? If he had a defense, he has the number 2 scoring defense.
Now he does. Didn't last year.
Okay, so what is his record?
What happened last year? They were ahead of the Rams at halftime, and the defense just cratered in the second half. They were ahead of Aaron Rodgers at halftime, and the defense just fell apart.
If you don't mind me asking, did Dak Prescott not get the ball in the second
He
half?
got the ball.
So why didn't he do something with it?
He did. But
What
it
did he
wasn't
do?
enough. He couldn't outscore Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness, Skip
Jared
Baylor.
Goff. He couldn't.
So in other words, he had another reservation at my restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you, he had a really good year last year.
Did they make the
And
playoffs?
you know what? This year, I saw this game against Jacksonville. I know Jacksonville's cratered itself, but in the first half against Jacksonville, when Jacksonville was riding high, Dak Prescott led 4 long scoring drives, and it was 24-0 at halftime.
Jacksonville was riding high after they had just gotten crushed by Kansas City. They were riding high.
They were riding high. They were still the number 1 defense. They came into the game ranked number 1 in defense, and Dak did that. And
Okay.
Dak was back.
Okay, what happened when he went to Houston?
Played his butt off.
No, see, now he played his butt off.
Yeah.
He played his butt off.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, Skip Baylor.
Well, it went to overtime, and finally, a quarterback that I love even more than I love Dak.
No,
Deshaun
you don't.
Watson.
No,
Yeah, I
you
do.
don't. No, you don't. No, you
I
don't.
love Deshaun
You don't love
Watson.
nobody. First of all,
do.
you don't love nobody or nothing more than the Cowboys.
I love Deshaun Watson.
I know you love him, but not like you love Dakota Prescott. Oh, I loved it.
I don't call him Dakota.
You call him Dak.
I think you closet love him more than I do.
Oh, no.
'Cause you met him on the plane, and now you're in awe of him.
Walking to him. I met on walking to him, too.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know you met him.
I met on walking to him.
When?
Don't worry about all
I
that,
don't
because he
think you did.
told me not to tell you anything.
That's true.
Because I don't want it. Because see, Skip, I don't want people thinking that I just like these guys. I'm not like that, Skip.
So, this year, Dak Prescott has been up against an offensive line that is a shocking shambles right now. And they went out and hired the single best offensive line coach I've ever been around, Hudson Houck. And during the bye week, he's going to take it over as kind of the advisor and co-offensive line coach with Mark Colombo. And I think you'll start seeing better things come from the offensive line. And the great Shannon Sharp, the Pro Football Hall of Famer that he is, he kept telling me through the first 8 games of the season that Dallas didn't have a single receiver who could separate. They're a collection of number 3s with no tight end. God forbid that they had anything close to a Shannon Sharp. Am I right? Am I characterizing your characterization
That's what
right?
you told me about Tom Brady. You say he didn't have anything.
He's the greatest ever. This is a kid in his 3rd year trying to overcome
That's all I've
no
been-
protection,
that's
no
all-
run game,
that's all-
and no receiver who can get open.
Guess who's been-
And guess what? They're teetering at 3 and 4, but they're still hanging right in this division.
If you don't, guess who's been sacked more than or equal to the amount of times that Dak Prescott? Deshaun Watson. You like him? Aaron Rodgers. You like him? Drew Brees. You like him? Big. You like him? Oh, my bad.
But Dak won't go down. He just has 3 people hanging on him, and he's the next Big Ben Roethlisberger because you can't get him on the ground.
Big Ben in his second year had a Super Bowl.
Well, Well, he had a defense.
Well, see, it's always something.
Well,
at
yeah,
some point in time, Skip, at some point in time, number 4 is gonna have to take some culpability.
Oh.
You can't keep pushing the blame elsewhere.
I'm giving him a lot of credit.
Guess what? You know what? You know what type he is, Jenny? He's the type of guy that'll sweep all the stuff up under the rug. And then when there's a bump up in the rug, and you lift the rug and see all that dirt up under it, you're like, well, how did I get this? I don't know. At some point in time, Skip Bayless, that dirt that we see, that Dak Prescott, that you keep sweeping and blaming the offensive line. The defense isn't any good. No number one. Zeke suspended. At some point in time, you're going to have to come to the realization.
My floor is clean, and under my rug is clean.
No, it ain't, because you done swept it.
Clean as a whistle.
That's what you call. You know you swept up on the rug? Offensive line.
Yeah, well, they deserve to be
Don't do that. Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that.
You know what? I loved what Jerry said about Dak because I told you after the Washington game, Dak was a warrior in that game. And I know he made one unforgivable mistake you cannot make on the road. He fumbled at the goal line and just gave him 7 points. Can't do it. I was first to declare that. But as Jerry said, the way he competed at that position in that game, we can win a lot of football games.
I'm trying to win, Jenny.
We can win a lot of football games.
But you haven't.
Competes.
You haven't.
He competes.
You
He's a
haven't.
warrior.
I know you can.
Hey, it's just starting. It's just starting. Neither is walk it to him.
Walk it to him.
Yeah.
What's his record?
4-4.
Okay, what's your record?
3-4, but we
Okay.
get to play Monday night. We're
Could
on a bye.
change.
We got a bye.
Feels
We'll
like the
catch up.
longest bye,
me
right?
catch you
Feels
up.
like it's been a
You know, it
long
feels like they
bye.
haven't played for like 3 weeks.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
We got to get them back
That's the
in
only
action.
chance y'all have of not losing.
Yeah.
Not playing. The other you play, you're taking the L.
Want to put a case of due on next
I
Monday
just
night?
might.
Would you?
I just
Okay,
might.
Thank you. Done. Appreciate
Done
that.
deal?
I ain't said it yet.
All right, Monday.